Berjaya Corporation and its units 7-Eleven Malaysia and Berjaya Land say they are unaware of Tan Sri Vincent Tan's plans for his business empire. In separate statements to Bursa Malaysia, the firms said the plans, including the delisting of the two units, are his personal idea and strategies. B Corp also clarified that it is still in talks with potential buyers on the possible sale of its Four Seasons Hotel and hotel residences in Kyoto, and that there isn't a definitive agreement yet. Tan, who is the controlling major shareholder of B Corp, said yesterday that he is mulling a major restructuring, including the privatization of 7-Eleven and B Land, as well as the listing of its hotel business in Singapore. He also said that the group is in the midst of sealing a deal to sell its Four Seasons Hotel and hotel residences for about $700 million to $800 million, which will translate into a divestment gain of $400 million. He also intends to inject his private business into Berjaya Media, given that the business has not fared well. Sapura Energy's stock continues to sink below its rights issue price of 30 cents. The oil and gas services and solutions provider has witnessed its share price tumbling for 2 straight trading days as crude oil prices swung lower amid worries about oversupply and the outlook for the global economy. This raises concerns over the group's massive cash call to raise 4 billion ringgit for its recapitalization exercise as it seeks to pare down its huge borrowings of 14 billion ringgit. Its shares drifted to an all-time low of 28 cents shortly after the opening bell today, before ending the day at 29 cents, half a cent lower than yesterday's close. An analyst says Sapura Energy's rights issue has become a hard sell now, despite the slew of positive news that they have announced of late. The downward trend on crude oil prices does not help either. Goldman Sachs is said to have issued a $1.75 billion bond for 1MDB without the approval of chief guarantor, International Petroleum Investment Company. Citing sources, the Straits Times reports that the bond issued in 2012 was instead approved by senior IPIC officials, including then-CEO Kadim Al-Kubaisi. It said the bank also relied on correspondence between senior IPIC executives and high-ranking Malaysian government officials to clear approval hurdles from its compliance teams. According to the Straits Times, Goldman Sachs acknowledged that it did not obtain an IPIC board resolution for the bond issue. The report quoted the bank as saying in a written response, the firm relied on documents provided by IPIC executives and legal opinions of outside counsel evidencing IPIC's authority to enter into the guarantee. Goldman Sachs, which arranged several multi-billion-dollar bond issues tied to 1MDB, made over $600 million in fees from the deals. The KL High Court has reinstated a fine of 10 million ringgit each on AirAsia and Malaysia Airlines imposed by the Malaysia Competition Commission for flouting anti-competition practices. In 2013, MyCC decided to penalise the two airlines after concluding the carriers had infringed the Competition Act 2010 when they collaborated under a share swap deal in August 2011. The fine of 10 million ringgit accounts for 10% of the two airlines' turnover over the period of the alleged infringement between January and April 2012. MyCC had said that when businesses agree to share markets, they're agreeing to stop competing at the expense of the consumers. However, a tribunal set aside the fines in 2016 and ordered the monies to be refunded. The High Court, however, said the ruling was tainted with error, as the tribunal had failed to consider that the agreement between the two companies had the effect of distorting competition. The court did not give any time frame for both airlines to pay the penalties. The Ministry of Finance is setting aside 77 million ringgit to ease the plight of cash-strapped Felda's settlers. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng says it was Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad who ordered the special allocation after taking note of the plantation group's critical cash flow issue. The allocation will be channeled to the Economic Affairs Ministry, which regulates Felda. The bulk of the monies, 43 million ringgit to be exact, will be set aside to payment of arrears to Felda Technoplants for land development operations. 32.8 million ringgit will go to 28,000 settlers for subsistence as well as advances for replanting. 1.2 million ringgit will be divided among the beneficiaries of 120 deceased settlers as part of their mortality benefits. As at June, Felda was saddled with debts of 8.05 billion ringgit. It is currently undergoing a turnaround project that is being monitored by a transformation council under the patronage of Felda Chairman Tan Sri Megat Zaharuddin Megat Muhammad Noor and led by Felda DG Datuk Dr. Osman Haji Omar.